Hey everyone, have you noticed all those shiny brand new homes popping up everywhere? You might have heard that there are more new homes available right now than usual. In fact, today about 1 in 3 homes on the market are newly built. So what does this mean for the housing market and for your next move? Stick around, because in this video we're going to break down the real story behind these new builds and why home builders aren't overbuilding. They're actually catching up. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to my channel. Meral here, broker associate with Coldwell Banker Realty in the beautiful Palm Beaches, Florida. If you've already been a fan of the Palm Beaches, or if you're just starting to explore this beautiful region, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos and can join me as I explore everything the Palm Beaches has to offer. I can't wait to share more about this amazing place with you. So welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a hot topic. Are home builders overbuilding, or are they just catching up? Let's find out. Let's rewind to the early 2000s. The housing market was booming. Everyone seemed to be buying homes and prices were skyrocketing. It felt like the American dream was within reach for so many people. Banks were lending money left and right, often to people who might not have qualified under stricter standards. This period was marked by a construction frenzy, with builders racing to keep up with the insatiable demand. New neighborhoods sprang up almost overnight, and it seemed like there was no end in sight to the housing boom. But then came 2008. The financial crisis hit, and it hit hard. The bubble burst, and suddenly those previously hot housing markets turned ice cold. Home prices plummeted, foreclosures skyrocketed, and the dream turned into a nightmare for many. Construction came to a grinding halt. Builders were left with unfinished projects and many went out of business. The impact on the construction industry was catastrophic. Think about it. Why build new homes when there were so many foreclosed properties sitting empty? It was a time of immense uncertainty and financial loss. In the years following the crash, the construction industry was slow to recover. Builders were cautious, if not downright scared, to start new projects. Financing was tight, regulations had tightened, and the market was flooded with existing homes at rock bottom prices. For nearly a decade, the pace of new home construction lagged far behind historical norms. This slowdown created a significant backlog in housing inventory that we are still trying to catch up on today. As the economy slowly recovered, demand for homes started to rise again, but the supply just wasn't there. And that brings us to today. The market dynamics have shifted, and home builders are now in a race to meet the current demand. So, are they overbuilding or just catching up? Let's explore that next. All right, let's talk about numbers. Right now, the housing market is experiencing a significant mismatch between demand and supply. according to recent data, the demand for homes is far outstripping the available supply. For instance, the National Association of Realtors reports that the inventory of homes for sale has been hovering near historic lows. In many markets, homes are being snapped up almost as soon as they're listed. To put it in perspective, some areas are seeing only a 2 to 3 month supply of homes, whereas a balanced market typically has about a 6-month supply. This imbalance is driving prices up and making it harder for buyers to find homes. But why is there such a high demand for housing? A big part of the story is population growth and urbanization. Over the past decade, the US population has grown steadily, adding millions of new residents. Millennials, now the largest adult generation, are in their prime home buying years. Additionally, many people are moving to urban areas in search of better job opportunities and lifestyle amenities. Cities and suburbs are expanding as a result, putting even more pressure on the housing market. This urbanization trend means that more people are looking for homes in concentrated areas, leading to higher competition for available properties. Now, let's take a closer look at the evidence of housing shortages in major cities and suburbs. Cities like San Francisco, New York, and Seattle have become infamous for their housing crunches. In these areas, demand has consistently outpaced supply, leading to skyrocketing rents and home prices. Even in small cities and suburban areas, the story is similar. For example, Austin, Texas, has seen a population boom in recent years, but housing construction hasn't kept up, resulting in a severe shortage of available homes. This shortage is evident in the rapid rise of bidding wars, homes selling well above asking prices, and the growing number of people being priced out of the market. Why this isn't like 2008 though? Remember, the housing market crash of 2008, it's hard to forget it. One big reason for that crash was the flood of homes for sale. There were just too many houses and not enough buyers. While builders were partly to blame for the oversupply back then, the memory of those times makes some people nervous whenever they hear that new home construction is on the rise again. But here's the good news. Today's situation is totally different. Yes, the supply of new homes has increased this year, but there's no need to hit the panic button. Builders aren't overbuilding. They're actually just catching up with the demand that's been building up for years. So, relax and let's take a closer look at why this isn't a repeat of 2008. Check out this graph. It uses data from the census to show how many new houses have been built over the past 52 years. After the 2008 crash, we went through a long stretch of underbuilding, highlighted in red. It took us a while, but we've only just now hit the long-term average for annual home construction. Finally, we're getting back on track. This shows that even with the recent uptick in new builds, we won't suddenly face an oversupply of homes for sale. There's too much ground to make up after over a decade of overbuilding, or I should say underbuilding. And if you're still worried that builders might be overdoing it, here's some reassuring. New home construction may be at its peak for the year. The latest census data on housing starts These are homes where builders just broke ground. And permits. These are homes where builders can start development soon. Indicates that builders are actually slowing down their pace right now. Why? They're reacting to high mortgage rates and how those are affecting buyer demand. Essentially, they're adjusting their activity to match what's happening in the market, which means they're not going overboard. As an article from HouseWire explains, even with a massive housing shortage across the nation, home builders are completing their pipeline and not seeking as many permits to construct new single-family homes. Builders haven't forgotten the consequences of overbuilding during the crash, and they definitely don't want a repeat of that. That's why they're being cautious and dialing back a bit now. You may have more options now versus later. Thinking about buying a newly built home? Here's what you need to know. Builders are pulling back on permits and slowing down on starting new projects, which means we might be at the peak of new home construction for this year. This doesn't mean construction is coming to a halt, just that the pace is slowing down. So you'll likely have more options now than later in the year. As Lawrence Yun, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, says, given the recent declines in housing starts, home completions will steadily show declines in about 6 months. If you're all set to buy a home now, you might have a wider selection of newly built options available compared to waiting. It could be a good idea to start your search soon. Make sure you partner with a local real estate agent you have confidence in. They will offer valuable insights into builder reputations and other important details specific to your area. And if there's not much new construction where you're looking, they can suggest nearby areas that might have more options for you. Here's the bottom line. Yes, new home construction is a bigger deal right now than usual, but that's actually a good thing. Builders aren't going crazy and building too much. They're smart about it. They're paying attention to what the market needs and making sure not to repeat the mistakes from back in 2008. You know, from where I stand, the increase in new home construction isn't a cause for concern at all. In fact, it's a positive sign of a healthier market. Builders are finally catching up to the demand that's been building for years. They're being cautious, which shows they've learned from past downturns. It's a good time for buyers who want new options, but it's also important to be mindful of local dynamics and work with a realtor who understands the market inside out. That way, you can navigate the options and make the best decision for your future home. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more updates, and drop a comment below sharing your thoughts on the housing market. Looking forward to hearing from you. See you in the next video. Bye.